In the event of a water damage emergency, call PuroClean of Cenla.
Hey, good morning, everyone. Hey, Mom. Hey, Dad. I like to see the whole family in here. So I am posting. Let's see, did that show up? I went and posted this through my phone. I think it showed up. Ooh. I'm trying to basically get it to where I have all the app and everything. I was copy and pasting something, so I am making sure that the app stuff and all the ways to contact or get Cenla Weather, get that information to you is available. And now my page is going crazy. All right, cool. You're enjoying the jams. I'm telling you. It's a hot jam. It's called the Bog Song. It's royalty-free music. I think there it goes. Okay, cool. So that showed up in the comments. That's where you can download the app. You got the website. You got all the stuff. Let's get through this and get to why you're here. 52 degrees, Toledo Bend. We have cameras if you're just tuning in. I know a lot of people are like, hey, who is this guy? I'm a meteorologist in central Louisiana, mainly focusing on the 14 parishes surrounding Alexandria. So that's what I am. This is what I do. I have cameras set up around the area so we can watch tornadoes or sunsets or weird clouds. 52 degrees now, dew point 51 here in Alexandria. And for today, I actually don't think we're going to see a ton of rain. Maybe a few sprinkles out there. I took chances down to 30%. But look at the size of this system. We got winter storm watches from Arizona to New York. It's going all the way up to Kansas City, all the way down to Lafayette, all the way down to Houston, or at least the northern suburbs, and then over to Washington, D.C. This is a massive storm that's going to impact a lot of people. They finally added Concordia Parish to the watch, so we can rest easy there. That was weird for a while. But here's your alerts right now. This goes until 6 p.m. I don't think any real threat starts until maybe Saturday afternoon, and that's going to be a northern wind, Natchitoches and Sabine Parish. I think we're pretty well good for Saturday down here in most of the area, and I'll get into this in just a second, but it's been madness. It's been crazy. I didn't post in the middle of the night last night. I rolled over, took a glance at the weather models, and I was like, no, we're good. We're gonna go ahead and wait until tomorrow to do this. 52 degrees right now here in town, 50 up in Monroe, 60s along I-10, where they also have a winter storm watch, which might not quite be necessary. I think they're gonna stay a little bit warmer down that way, and I'm gonna show you the intense differences in the models and how that doesn't really impact you if you're up in Arkansas, if you're in North Mississippi. Well, North Mississippi, yes, and I'll show why as well. But Arkansas, Oklahoma, Missouri, you're kind of like, it's going to be wintry weather. It's just kind of what flavor are you getting and how much. Down here, it's are you going to get it and then how much. So northwest or northeasterly winds for today, those are going to kind of abate. We'll see light winds throughout the day. So if you want to sneak out before the big system, do a little fishing, I think you can make that happen. Beyond this, once we get into Friday and Saturday, that's when the big changes come in. So cloudy today, low to mid 60s. Severe threat, we don't have one, though I think we could get some thunder out of this on Sunday, and the GFS will show you that. So for today, again, spotty showers, maybe a few sprinkles out there, not much going on. Friday, not a ton of stuff. We could see some rain. We could start to see things breaking out by Saturday morning. If you have any sort of travel plans to the north, and I know a ton of you are heading up to Dallas, Fort Worth area for the cheer competition, I think you're good to get in there on Friday. You just want to have that plan in place where you can delay the departure time. So, watching from Big Cane in northern St. Lance, I know exactly where it is. My wife's grandmother. She's from Big Cane. So we were down there often for a long time. We have family in LeBeau also. I could go on forever. How you doing? You want to come on and say hi? I always do that when she's in a robe. All right, so the GFS model is showing that we have rain that's going to try to slide in by late Friday into Saturday. Now, the GFS is the cold model. This one continues to be cold, and you can see some heavier rain showers overhead. And look at that. I mean, right there just shows you the madness here because that dividing line on the colder model is right overhead. I think this is too cold, so we're going to lean warmer than this, and we're going to keep the forecast mostly rain on Saturday. Where it gets interesting is going to be Saturday night into Sunday morning, and that's when we're going to probably see a little bit of a lull, but watch this. Oops, did I go backwards? Okay, yeah. So watch as this whole thing comes through now. 11 o'clock on Sunday, that main upper system is going to move through. That could bring some elevated instability. We could have thunderstorms in the area. It could be some heavier rain, and you're thinking, heavy rain, thunderstorms, below freezing, that's crazy. If that happens, that's going to be madness. Well, kind of, but the more efficient production and accumulation of freezing rain is when you have lighter rain falling, and that can fall for a long period of time and attach to everything. When it's falling so quickly, it just kind of runs off. So that could actually be a bit of a saving grace if this were to come to fruition. You see, as we step through here, 1 p.m., showers, maybe a few thunderstorms with temperatures below freezing, then it all hightails it out of here and things return to somewhat normal, though it's going to get very cold. Then some rain could return next Wednesday. And just while I'm throwing crazy things out, and just to prove why long-range models don't matter, they're showing snow for next weekend. Yeah, so we won't get into that, but we will get into the headlines of this one because, again, we're 2.5, 3 days out here, and we still don't have details. So why on earth would I care what models are showing 10 days out? That's why I don't like when people post them. That's why I'm an old crabby guy, I guess, though. Saturday night and Sunday, that's when I think our main focus is here. This used to say Friday night into Sunday, but I'm starting to think, I'm continuing to think that most of Saturday, at least for most of the area, we're going to stay above freezing. That's possible if the colder models do end up winning, that we do go a little bit colder. So we're going to know more about that as we get closer. But for right now, I think the worst of this is Saturday night into Sunday, especially Sunday. Model discrepancies not only remain, they are huge. Significant impacts are possible. They are likely if you head up into the northern parishes. I think Wynne, northern Natchitoches, northern Sabine, even at most of those parishes, you have a much better chance of this. And we're going to get more accuracy as we get closer. I think I added a question mark because models have been off the charts kind of crazy with all this. So let me show you on the European what I'm talking about. Yeah, okay. So this is the European model. This is from the College of DuPage, weather.cod.edu. That's a great weather model page. So this is 3 a.m. Saturday. I'm just going to kind of step through, and you see this is the freezing line here, that little line right there up near I-20, and you can see how that's kind of wavering. We're now at 3 p.m. Saturday. As we get into the nighttime hours, that's going to come down. It's going to start to try to crash down to the south here. So freezing up there into Sabine, Natchitoches, and Wynne Parish, as I've been saying. Now down in St. Landry Parish, 66 degrees. So that's fun. We go from ice storm to 66 degrees and some thunderstorms in St. Landry Parish. I don't think there's a severe threat, but I'll tell you what, there could be a bunch of thunderstorms with this thing. So continuing on through, and what the Euro is doing here, it's making a much sharper gradient on these temperatures, so it's real warm and unstable down here to the southeast and very cold up to the northwest. So as that kind of comes crashing through, you see that freeze line comes down through the area. This is our warmer model. This crashes down through Concordia Parish, down to northern Avoyelles, southern Rapides, towards southern Vernon. Warmer model keeps it all rain as you head further south, so that's going to keep things rain in St. Landry, even though by then it would be in the 30s. So that's on the warmer end of things. You know, I'm not picking favorites at this point, but I will say this is usually my most reliable model. And it's kind of been, it appears leading the pack on this stuff. But as we get closer, we're going to get better ideas, I think. So yeah, we still have that question mark in there. All right, so what are the totals forecast over the next 7 days? This is going to include mostly just this storm over the weekend. So up to the north through Arkansas and northern Louisiana, Shreveport to Monroe, this is going to be a significant ice storm that's going to cause long-term power outages. You're going to see a half an inch to an inch of actual ice accumulation out of that kind of rainfall, and it's going to cause major problems. Down here, we're in that transition zone. I think toward I-10, it's going to be mostly rain, but if the colder models win, then yes, we could still see something a little nefarious down that way. 42 degrees for your high on Saturday. Temperatures are going to kind of be floating around, though, because this is for Alexandria. We forecast this for basically Rapides Parish. If you're up in Wynne, you're going to see temperatures closer to 32. If you're down in St. Landry, 60. So yes, there's going to be a wide swing. 32 on Sunday. I think that cold air comes crashing through. I think that's the day we really have to watch for wintry potential here. And then overnight, it gets down to 19 degrees. So anything that's left over, say that stuff moves out about 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon, anything that's liquid on the bridges is going to freeze once the sun goes down. I think we sneak above freezing on Monday and then 15. So we're looking at, you know, we're talking about all this crazy winter weather. And what I don't want to get lost in this is if you're actually preparing, and I hate making anyone prepare for something that doesn't happen. So, you know, get the food you'd get the medicine you need, get those kind of things. Don't overbuy. start the generator up. You should have done that anyway because, we should do that every month and nobody does. I mean, if you do, you're awesome. I didn't, and that's why I have a generator that's basically a giant potato out there. But now I have my Ward Electric generator that's going to run the whole house. So that's why I forgot about that. But I digress. So these are the things I want you to do. I don't want you going out and buying crazy things. I don't want you, I know you have to prepare in some cases for this, but just get some food for the weekend. Get some sausage, get some chicken thighs, make some jambalaya, bring me some. And that's kind of what I want you to do. I don't want you freaking out. So 15 degrees, what you need to prepare for is that, because that could be some pipe busting cold, especially in areas that lose power, because you're not going to be able to have any sort of heat source on those. Looks cold through the beginning of February, very chilly temperatures out there. That's going to continue. And like I said, the GFS, which has been a bit wonky lately, showing another potential for some wintry weather next weekend. I'm just mentioning it because you'll forget after all this, and then we'll talk about that if it's still around after all this mess passes by. One more quick run through the GFS. Let's do that. I'll just pull it through here, show you what's going on. And this is our coldest situation. This is our most extreme one. So if you're looking at this, I don't think we get any worse than this. So that means northern half of the area would see freezing rain on Saturday. Again, my forecast is going to hedge toward it just being rain on Saturday, as I think we're going to be a bit warmer. Now, as we get into Saturday night, that colder air comes crashing down on the back side of this thing. But you can see that it looks like most of that heavier precip's going to stay to our north. So we're going to have a pretty big lull there. Then on Sunday, the main wave comes through, and that could bring not only some heavier rain with freezing rain and possibly even some small hail out of some of these thunderstorms. That is going to bring us temperatures that are going to come down to probably about 28 to 32 over most of the area, and that's when I think we're going to see our problems. So that's pretty much it. This then moves on. It's gone. Let's see when the GFS cuts it off. About 4 p.m. Sunday. So Sunday night travel, Sunday day, Sunday night, that's where I think we have the biggest problems, and then things are going to sweep out. We'll melt off Monday, probably do a little refreeze Monday night. Okay, you watched the Cenla Weather app on your TV for a bit yesterday? Oh, cool. Yeah, that's so it's on. You got the Roku app. I don't even think I posted that, but and now the models are showing snow next weekend. Yeah, it's just the one. I mean, there's some ensemble support, or I wouldn't even be mentioning it. But I will tell you, I am just staring at the models till I go blind at this point. Yes, I'm definitely praying for traveling grace for the folks heading up to Dallas for the NCAA cheer competition. Good luck to all that are going to be competing, and be safe on that ice as you might have to ice skate into the competition. Okay, I'm going to go record a hit for the 24-hour channel, and then I'm going to dive into putting those numbers out. I'm going to do a text update for that. And again, these ranges are going to start with 0 in some spots because I really think there's a legitimate chance that parts of the area see no freezing rain accumulation, especially down south. As you get up here into Rapides and points north, that's when I think we're at least going to see something. So I'll put that out by 11 o'clock. That's the plan, and I hope you guys have a wonderful afternoon. We're going to be updating you with all kinds of stuff. I don't have to tell you all that. But thank you for being cool in the comments, and I appreciate that. I get scared of internet comments because people can just show up and say stupid things, and then they just go back, and it's an anonymous person, and it ruins my whole day. But you guys are all nice, and I like that. I'll see you back here later with more information.